Black Lives Matter is a phrase that everyone has heard of. However, these words didn't have much meaning until the recent surge in police brutality cases that turned them into a symbol of cultural progression. Instances of this violence can be traced back to the African American Civil Rights Movement, the Selma and Montgomery marches, and the infamous Rodney King case. At the time of these occurrences, backlash was present but confined to a single case. It wasn't until the recent death of Michael Brown that a persistent, enraged response was evoked. It is clear that America's view of police brutality shifted from a case-by-case mentality to a cultural movement after the recent Ferguson riots sparked a reaction in media and in popular culture. Now, there are many similarities that can be made between the brutality seen today and the violence of the past. These similarities are what prompted the shift in mentality. In both cases, the police knew what was going on. In the past, they ignored the violence and acted as if it was almost inherently accepted by the system, where today, this violence is no longer tolerated. Another similarity is the fact that blacks and other minorities were viewed as underprivileged in the eyes of the police. Even though this is no longer explicitly communicated, it is still apparent that this problem is prevalent today. The response and backlash from the black community is another comparison that can be made. Before, they were the only ones to speak out about this injustice, but today there is a variety of people from different races and classes that have come together to support the fight for inequality and social justice. The fact that these similarities were noticed is the reason why change was initiated. It was clear that not enough progress was being made and that something needed to be done. The death of Michael Brown and the riots that followed were the first major events in the recent series of police brutality cases. These instances ignited the most backlash that America has ever seen. Riots and protests lasted for more than 2 weeks, and as soon as they began to die down, Eric Garner was killed in New York City. The cycle continued, and the response has yet to be silenced. Now, there is an increased exposure of this topic in the media today, and that is what initiated the development of the cultural movement that our country is in the midst of. Social media has played an immense role in spreading the stories of these victims across the country. In fact, this whole entire cultural movement was born from a simple hashtag, Black Lives Matter. But now when people see these words, they know exactly what they are referencing. They are no longer just words. They are an ideology instilled in the minds of millions. Now, it is also clear that the rising dialogue of this violence in popular culture has worked to normalize the discussion of police brutality. In this past year alone, there have been multiple musical performances dedicated to past occurrences of this violence and the victims themselves. In the past year, Beyonce has invited the mothers of many different victims to the MTV VMAs with her. Kendrick Lamar performed his song All Right on the Grammy stage, which is now an anthem for the Black Lives Matter movement. And even Kanye West has contributed to the discussion with his song Feedback that includes lyrics referencing police brutality. The increased conversation of this topic on such a large scale has trickled down into the public's everyday lives. The problem that is police brutality is now discussed on a daily basis, rather than instead when just a single case presents itself. The theme here resonates with every single occurrence of this violence and represents something larger than just a single case. Social media and popular culture have both reinforced this message and contributed to the discussion. This shift is one that must be taken note of because it is still occurring today. This country is in the middle of a transformation that will permanently alter society. No longer will this just be discussed on a case-by-case basis because the way that the public views this problem has forever changed. It is no longer one thing happened, people are talking about it. It is now, look at all the things that happened, people are doing something about it. A cultural movement has begun and there is no turning back. Thank you.